Maso ceto ya amsa kiran CNG na kiran kowa.
Arewa tana fitar mafita mu fito kowa.
Talakawa.
Mu yi aiki don mu ceto yanzu talaka.
Talakawa.
CNG ƙungiyar da ta haska gidan kowa.
Talakawa.
Gamayyar ƙungiyoyi namu na arewa.
Talakawa.
CNG rigar yanci ga talakawa.
Talakawa.
Maza mata mu rungumi tsarin
CNG. Maso ceto ya amsa kiran CNG na kiran kowa.
Maso ceto ya amsa kiran CNG na kiran kowa.
Maso ceto ya amsa kiran CNG na kiran kowa.
Bismillah Ubangiji Allah, masanin komai gwani jalla. Na roƙi ka haska kan fitila na yi waƙar ƙungiyar kowa.
Maso ceto ya amsa kiran CNG na kiran kowa.
Allah tsira amincinka, ka shiga ɗahabawanka, ahali a sahabu la shakka a saka ciki bani warewa.
Maso ceto ya amsa kiran CNG na kiran kowa.
Sallama jama'a.
Thank you very much. Remember, we are witnessing another series of my Senior Leadership Lecture. Dr. Habu Galadi, you are welcome, sir.
Maso ceto ya amsa kiran CNG na kiran kowa.
Next to him is a traditional title holder in person of Sayyid Gumel Alhaji Abba Abdullahi. You are welcome, sir. Next to him, in the former Vice Chairman, Vice President, Nigerian Labour Congress, in person of Comrade Isa Tijani. Next to him is another very on struggle, a senior colleague and a senior comrade, a student activist once again, a youth leader, in person of Comrade Alhaji Salisu. Mr. Chairman, sir, permit me to come back to the other side.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm supposed to be very, very brief on this. I'm being assigned to be the chairman of the occasion. Usually the chairman doesn't talk much, but there are keynote speakers who are professors who have made a research before they come here. I didn't. So I just came empty-handed to address you very briefly, to welcome you, and to try to sensitize you on why we are all here. Let me first start by saying the coinage that the future is in your hands. You, the youth, the future is in your hand. Have you ever looked inside your palms to see the future of your own selves? Well, let me tell you briefly. Now we are in a democracy, not in the military. And we have been practicing this democracy straight for the last 20-something years now. Now, the democracy operates like this. There is a legislature, there is a judiciary, and there is the executive. Now, they always call the press or the media the fourth arms of government, because they are like the watchdogs of all these three branches of governance. Now, let me start by the legislators. Those directly involved with the society, our local communities, are the councillors. The councillors. and then the State Assembly gentlemen or honorables. Now, if you look at the group of these councillors and the members of the state assemblies are all below 35, which means these are youth. These are you, your own contemporaries. And these are the ones who are ruling this country directly. Because you are the closest to the communities. But what happens? We always complain the leaders are this and that. The leaders, you look at maybe Buhari and the senators, they don't come to our communities. They only come when there is a campaign for election. They don't have anything to do with the rural folks. Nothing. It's you, the youth, that go into the rural lunguna and sensitize people to come and vote for somebody up there. And then your colleagues to be councillors, to be members, to be chairmen of local government. I bet you that you can find more than 80% of local government chairmen are below 40, below the age of 40 or 45. These are called youth brackets. So what's going on? Why can't you control at least your own state chairman, your own state speakers, and the state legislators? These are your colleagues.
Political appointment in terms of awarding contract, in terms of educational opportunity, in terms of access to financial facilities, and discrimination in allocation of infrastructural development. All these are some of the issues that are manifest, are no longer latent in our polity, that you see some people using positions. We have a lot of examples in which we have a kind of ethnic transition in many MDAs, ministries, departments, and agencies, in which when the boss of an agency comes from certain ethnic group, before you know it, you will find out members of his ethnic group or people that come from his own region or whatever demarcation will now dominate. This is a kind of manifestation, and there is no way such reality will happen without people developing a kind of suspicion and making them voice out. What is also important in this context is to understand what is democracy itself. Because we say all these sentiments militate against good democracy. And we are here to talk about some of such sentiments, particularly as raised by the chairman of this great occasion, that democracy and its excellence is in your hands. So I think it's important and relevant for us to understand what is democracy. And in my view, at this context, I think we need to look at democracy from two important perspectives. Number one, we look at it as a process. What do we do to make sure that we have credible, sustainable, functional and useful democracy in the society? Number one, we need to have an independent political parties, different political parties, so that people with different ideologies, with different mindset can form an associations and contest in the election. We also need freedom of expression and association. When we come before the lecture started, as I see students and many participants of this occasion are rumbling, I'm just laughing. Laughing because of understanding the fact that most of the youth here do not understand what it takes to be free to organize an event like this, politically oriented event like this. Before, there were, even in our period during the military, there were a lot of time when you cannot organize yourself. 5 people cannot organize and discuss anything, irrespective of what you are talking about, isn't it? Now it's a freedom. Therefore, you have this power to associate and to discuss. So, freedom of expression. We must have that in order to have credible democracy. Thank God we have it constitutionally. Then the conduct of credible, acceptable elections, periodically, supremacy of the majority of opinion. The majority opinion must take precedence in any real democratic setting. Equitable representation of and recognition of the minority opinion. Not because that the majority opinion will take precedence now that the minority opinions should be suppressed. In democracy, there must be equitable, and that is why I believe there are a lot of a kind of constitutional and policy-based attempts in order to carry on the ethnic groups and religious groups alone by creating what at local government level, the state level, and the legislature, so that people will have representation from different units of their own social being. The separation of power also, the meritorious bureaucracy to make sure that the civil servants are employed and promoted based on a certain laid down process, not just because you belong to a certain ethnicity or because you are a kind of ILO or any other affiliation with anybody that you can have an those who are very conversant with the civil service at whatever level, at federal level, at the state level, even at local government level,